Cummings thrashed the competition today, almost a year after his glory day in Mende on the Tour de France. To get his first ever Critérium du Dauphiné stage victory, Cummings managed to join the breakaway, then to drop his companions and to be alone in the front for 60 kilometers, while the favourites group accelerated in vain to catch him. After 40 kilometers of uphill ride solo, Cummings deserved a warm round of applause. Yesterday, Thibaut Pinot won for the first time on a Critérium du Dauphiné, and what a success! BARDET, his rival for the stage win, jumped to the third place of the GC. For the last 151 kilometers of the 2016 Critérium between Le Pont-de-Claix and Superdévoluy, the main difficulties are situated in the last 50 kilometers with two Category 1 climbs, the Col de la Moissière and the Col du Noyer. The final chance to take a stage win home is the Superdévoluy ascent, a Category 3, 4 kilometers at almost 6%. If Christopher FROOME increased his overall lead, the Briton must keep a look on his pursuers. In the last two editions, the yellow jersey changed in the final stage. After several attempts in the peloton, a group of about 20 riders finally broke off at kilometer 32, in which was Stephen Cummings. The British rider was not a threat at the GC, but he felt there was something to try for the stage victory. Cummings went solo, crossed the Col de la Moissière in first position 4 minutes before the main field. ETIXX-QUICK and Sky were the most active of the pack. It was hard for the peloton to follow the pace set by Don Martin's teammates. The least affected was Steve Cummings, who managed his effort in the front, yet never lost too much. He even increased his gap 12 kilometers to the finish line. He had a 4-minute 30 advantage over Froome's group. At that moment, Alberto Contador chose to attack. Only the best guys were able to take his wheel. The GC's top three riders, Froome, Porte and Bardet. The number 4, Dan Martin, was a few seconds behind at the top of the Col du Noyer. Dimension data as Stephen Cummings got what he came for, with a 3rd-minute lead 5 kilometers to the finish. An advantage he took to enjoy the finish a few hundred meters before the line. Stephen Cummings triumphed, and that was a second stage success for Dimension Data this week after Boisson-Hagens and Belley. Behind, the favourites were caught in the descent of the Col du Noyer by Dan Martin, who launched the sprint and won the sprint ahead of Romain Bardet. Their result and the bonuses allowed them to move up ahead of Richie Porte at the GC, Romain Bardet in 2nd position and Martin in 3rd.
It's getting harder and harder to win, and I felt I had to try and force something, and I wasn't really thinking about winning. I was just thinking about a good training for Tour de France, and then I also knew that maybe after the climb there wouldn't be so many riders left, and hopefully the favourites would look at each other, so maybe there was a chance to go away. But this was the day for me in the race that I picked out before, so it's really good, and I'm really happy because I think this is my 3rd World Tour stage race and 3rd stage of a World Tour race this year, so it's really good.
Cummings number 1, Martin number 2, Bardet number 3 and Froome number 10, but first of the overall classification. For a 3rd Critérium du Dauphiné success, Julian Alaphilippe in 6th retains his white jersey of best young rider. He's had it all week, and that's a first in the race history. Daniel Teclemanot wins the polka-dot jersey of best climber for the 2nd year in a row. Christopher FROOME always won the Tour de France after his Critérium du Dauphiné successes. We shall see if he'll do it again this year. Contador lies in 5th place of the GC, 35 seconds behind. It's a good vintage for the French riders, who are 3 in the top 10. The 68th edition of the Critérium du Dauphiné ends in the Dévoluy Mountains. After the many great emotions and upsets this race offered, we are impatient to be back on the French roads for the Tour de France in 3 weeks.